right, so now one other bone to pick with you, sir. From looking at your Twitter, you look like you got disgusted when I said that, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah, I know. Here we go.
You thought Black Widow was great? Great?
Yeah, loved it.
Great?
I loved Black Widow. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm a big MC. What didn't you like about it?
It felt like I was watching a Jason Bourne film, right? Not a superhero film, right? Which I get because she's not a superhero, but
yeah, you mean she's a super spy? You were watching a super spy?
It just wasn't. I didn't connect to it at all. Other than seeing Hawkeye at the end, there was no Easter egg. I would have loved to have seen a few, like maybe one superhero show up in it. It wasn't as funny and lighthearted as a lot of the others. And I thought the sister.
That's what I liked about it.
I thought the sister stole the show more than she did,
as she should, because Black Widow is dead.
Right.
Spoiler
setting
alert.
her up for the
yes.
For the young
so she should be the focal point of the. Listen, I thought it was well acted. I enjoyed the story. I thought that the sensitivity they brought to it was great. And if you're a follower of the MCU world, you know where it was. This was after Civil War when they were on the run before Infinity War. So this is what she was doing during those times. Yeah, and
I'm a big advocate of the MCU, so I get it.
Me too.
I just didn't.
That's a dark past, and they had to go into it. I really enjoyed it.
The reason why I've always been a fan of MCU over the DCU is because the MCU was fun, levity, enjoyment, and escape. This felt a little.
There's more to it. There's more than that. Why it's better.
That's just on the top.
It's better made movies. Yeah, they're patient.
Yeah.
Even when they have a bad movie, they know it serves a purpose. I mean, DC is terrible. They're just playing catch up, and they don't know how to do it. Right. The only thing they do right is rated R stuff. So like Doom Patrol and Titans, but now they moved Titans to CW. So it's going to be this Gossip Girl version of it. And it's going to be terrible.
Wait a minute. Are you sure of that? I thought they were just bringing the first 2 seasons to the CW.
No, they can't do that. No. It's a whole new show.
Oh.
See, whatever PG-13 network they're going to, it's going to be terrible because what made that great, it was rated R Robin. It was great. Cursing and violence and sex, and now they took that away. So now it's just going to be...
Batman was my favorite line ever.
It's going to be Smallville.
When he said fuck Batman, right. I fucking had to stop it. I was laughing so hard. It was so good.
The only thing that was wrong, and then see, here's the thing that's wrong with I'm glad you brought this up though. What's wrong with they can't keep characters either. It's like at this point now, there's no canon anymore. So like Wonder Woman's off on her own now. They're not going. Justice League is done. Yeah. There's a new Batman. It's like they don't even that they had to overpay Harry. What's his name to make sure we get the same Superman back. You know what I mean? So it's like the whole thing's a shit show. It's a shit show.
The biggest problem with them is that the movies are just bad. They're not good movies.
They're terrible.
Forget about anything else. Like I told my mom to go see Thor Ragnarok, knowing nothing about the MCU. I knew she would enjoy it, and she loved it. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
You didn't need to know anything. Although I will say this, I did a show recently that I stand by. Endgame was not good. I thought Infinity War was great. Endgame, the ending stunk. It wasn't good. Most of that movie was just closing plot lines. It was very little action, and it just wasn't. How
dare you?
It wasn't good. Wasn't good.
I was with you on that because I hate time travel. I hate it. I almost got thrown out of a car the other day because I told someone I don't like Back to the Future, which is really tough as a comedian to admit. And I rewatched it. I'm okay with Endgame. Infinity War?
Me too.
Fucking wonderful.
And Infinity War is amazing, but Endgame was just fine.
It's a great setup. No, I disagree. I personally was like, I thought Infinity War was fine. I was like, the villain wins. I was like, this is the first time, like, the end of the movie, the villain is sitting on a porch, like, I did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, like, I thought, okay, what was the point of all this? Right. But then, like, I thought they tied it up nice. You have to think of it like this is 13 years in the making to get to this point, and they didn't let us down. It was great action. I thought the time travel science was good enough where we go, okay, I like the multiverse stuff that they said. It's like, all right, I totally get that. I thought they explained it nicely, and it was good action. There was some great moments in that movie when he said "Avengers Assemble." If you didn't cheer, you're a soulless monster.
Let me just say a couple of quick things. I didn't like the forced all girls unite scene. That was ridiculous.
Oh, of course, but that's because white men have been fucking up for 10,000 years. So now we have to make up for your have to make up for your bullshit by doing this nonsense.
I also didn't like at all that.
I love you, baby. I like this.
I can't argue with that. I'm like, you're right on that part, but with Captain America, old Cap being there at the end made no sense either, because you set up your timeline rules, and then he shouldn't be there because he had no way to get there. He was in a different timeline. Doesn't make any sense. And then third, the worst thing.
It makes perfect sense. He just didn't come back. What do you mean it makes no sense? So he went and delivered. Like, I actually want to see a TV show of Captain America taking all that stuff back.
Right? No, but
that'd
they
be cool.
Said very clearly when he goes back, he was going to be on his own timeline. So if he waited around, he wouldn't be able to go back to that bench because he would be in a separate timeline. It's very simple. They made that very clear in the movie.
Oh, well, that part of it. Okay, yes.
Makes no sense. At least they could have had like a flash of light.
No. But the timeline of the Avengers fixing the timeline is the timeline.
Yeah, but
and by the way, and you know this by watching Loki.
I know.
See, if you watch Loki,
I am watching Loki, but I'm just saying it's still.
This is the timeline.
They have admitted themselves. I'm sorry to cut you off. They admitted themselves that it's a different story they haven't told yet. That's all they said because they definitely fucked up. I'm telling you.
Well, I don't think that they fucked up. I think that the timeline, that's why the time police, the time variants, whatever, didn't come get them when they were doing the timeline stuff, because that was part of the timeline, is them going back and forth and doing all their shit.
Well, we'll agree to disagree. The other thing I didn't like,
but I understand what you're saying, though.
The last thing that made no sense when Thor cuts off Thanos' head and Rocket says, "What did you do?" He said that just so he could say, "I went for the head." Nobody would say, "What did you do?" when you cut someone's head off. You would say, "Why did you do that?" Or what? They wouldn't say, "What did you do?" It's very obvious. You just cut his head off. But they wanted to get that stupid line in.
He was implying that we need to question him more to get these stones back, man.
Don't like it. I don't like it.